Coach, I guess just talk a little bit about the win and the triple overtime win at Western.
Yeah, you just summed it up for me. I'm already on South Dakota. It was a good feeling, good locker room. It's good to win. It was fun. It's always fun to win, you know. I thought I was starting to lose that feeling, but it was a great feeling. It was a lot of fun, and the kids played their butts off and competed and showed a lot of character in class.
I was going to say, could you just talk a little bit about the fortitude? You have the delay, and then you fall behind. You fight back. You take the lead, then they score to force overtime. Just to be able to for the team to keep coming back like it did.
Yeah, the delay. The thing that I liked about it was it happened before it all started, because I want to say there was about 3 or 4 minutes, at least in our time frame, of pregame before we get off the field when they shoot us off the field. And then Jared, their head coach, was class act. And it's kind of strange, you know, once the game starts, once pregame starts, it's all in the officials' hands. And they kind of deferred to us on what kind of time frame we wanted. And we both agreed on it and was able to get out there and get going and start up after the hour, because we didn't have to come back in and go back out and all those kind of things. So it worked out really well. So it was a delay on both sides. I think our kids were really focused all the time, because the fact is they got up 14-0, which is true, but they only did that on 2 plays. You know, defense was playing great. I believe we had 4 3-and-outs right to start the game, had the fumble scoop for a touchdown, and then we gave up a big pass play on a double move. So they really only had 2 plays on us.
Right.
So they understood that, and they responded well, and they came back and they battled and they competed, and it's exactly what you want a team to do.
What can you say about Peyton and what he was able to do? And I mean, his numbers were really, really good, and obviously some of those plays were huge plays too, and there in the overtime.
They were, but the but part about Peyton, though, is the thing that you talk about a mature competitor. He started off the game really poor. I mean, he was 3 for 11. We had the fumble, scoop, and score. But the thing that is awesome about him was he let it go. He parked it. You know, we talk about them all the time. You can't do anything about that. He refocused himself. He got himself under control and came out and then played lights out. You know, now we just got to work on that first 8 minutes.
Can you just talk about?
If you see him, let him know I'm thinking about it.
Can you talk about you know, pushing it toward the next one? You know, you forget this one, you park this win, and then turn your attention to South Dakota.
Yeah, that's, you know, something I've just learned for a long, long time. You win or lose, you can't do anything about it. So we got to come back and you learn from mistakes and things we've done when we watch the video, which we do every Sunday, and then it's over. When I get done with that practice on Sunday, in my mind, the game's over. We made our corrections, and we have to jump on the next opponent, which is South Dakota. It's always tough doing these conferences with you guys some days. You know, to me, it's gone. It's been over since last night.
Talk a little bit about their team. One of the better quarterbacks coming in here.
I'm really impressed with him. Austin Simmons, man. That kid, the thing I'm really impressed by, he's got an unbelievably strong arm. He's got an accurate arm. But what I kind of thought, because you see in glimpses, but what he did with Indiana State was his run ability really impresses me. And I'm saying it like that because I always liked the kid as a quarterback, a thrower, but he runs well, and he really ran really well. You know, quarterback draws, some zone reads, some quarterback powers, then some scramble ability that he broke out on those guys at Indiana State. So I'm very impressed with him, and he does a really good job of spreading the ball around. I mean, we got 5 receivers that all have between 15 and 21 catches. So he's spreading the ball around to his playmakers, and it's not just that one guy. So I'm really impressed with him. His offensive line is very, very big. I want to say they're all but one are like 320. And the left tackle's about a 270, 280 pound kid, but he's really long and athletic. So we'll have our hands full there. Defensively, their D-line's all returning. 92, I apologize. I keep apologizing every week because I don't know names. Really good up the middle. That D-tackle's really good. Their linebackers are steady. And then their free safety is very impressive because he gets everybody lined up. You can see him on video, making all the communications, making sure they're sound defensively. So they struggled early, and after researching, you know, they had a bunch of injuries that their kids are coming back now. So they're healthy now, and they're on a roll with 2 wins, and they really got after Indiana State.
What can you say about Lorenzo, his play the last couple of games?
Lorenzo's steady. Lorenzo's doing a really good job. He's very steady out there. He's on his way, but he's improving each week with his blocking ability, his catch ability. He's got very powerful hands, big, powerful hands. So he does a great job of catching the ball and locking it away. And his routes are getting better. So he's a young guy who's a coming out. You just got to keep getting a little better, especially in the blocking area. But Zoe is very, very steady. And the other thing about Zoe is he doesn't talk. He just goes out and works. I love guys like that, you know. He's not what he's doing on the field, I have no idea, but he just goes out there and works, and I'm impressed with that.
And they caught that one first touchdown, a lot of traffic. I mean, able to see the ball with a lot of stuff going around and concentrate.
It was great. It was a great job by Peyton finding them, and then just did a really good job back there in the corner of the end zone. But that kid was, personally, it was personal foul. Not personal foul. That's wrong. Pass interference. He was all over him, and he kept the focus and concentration. And then Peyton made a good throw from the standpoint of the only place he threw it was he's the only guy that could have caught it. So I'm really impressed with him.
I asked the one. It's Community Day. Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's Community Appreciation Day. The athletic department, those people came up with it, and they're starting off with football, which will roll into I'm pretty sure it's going to roll into basketball and into baseball and stuff. So they came up with the idea because first place in 37 years of coaching, they have fall break, and there's no Thursday, Friday at school. I never heard of that before. I heard that at Thanksgiving, but we have a game with no students here. So they came up with the Appreciation Day, which I think is great, and it's also going to be breast cancer awareness for us. So we're going to crack out the pink bear and the pink 20, and I think they talked to me in the pink socks or something like that.
There you go.
So that's what we got going right now, but the most important thing is the game and the focus.
Just talk a little bit about the win, and like Coach was saying, battling back after kind of a rough start to the game, to just stay focused and to bring the team to victory.
Mm-hmm. It was really good to see that. It was really good to see the guys that could stay focused and know that what Coach Stec said, it was just a couple plays that they made on their end. So it was really good to see that guys could battle back right there.
Was the weather even an issue at any point? I mean, they kept saying it was raining, but
I mean, it was sprinkling a little bit. We actually hadn't had a practice that was a rain practice like the entire year through fall camp and everything like that. So we did a couple wet ball drills during the week and stuff like that. So guys really weren't too worried about the weather at all.
I know you care a lot more about the wins and the losses than the actual numbers that you put up, but still, how does it feel to be able to go out there and have a good performance to go along with the victory? I
mean, it feels good, but that's through the help of the receivers. I think we have the best receiving core in the nation, definitely in the Valley, I think. So it's obviously through them, so really, really helpful.
What can you say about the performance that those guys had? I mean, you put the ball in the money a couple times, but they went up there to make sure they got it too.
Absolutely. All I have to do really is put it in their vicinity, and they're going to go make a play. And my job is fairly easy. I just got to get the ball in their hands and let them do the work. So it's a lot of help.
You passed 5,000 passing yards, so you're third on the all-time list. Are you aware of that, where you are in Missouri State football history?
Honestly, I don't pay attention to that. I'll worry about that at the end of the season when I'm done playing. So.
Talk about South Dakota. What do you know about these guys? I know it was a tough loss last year up at their place on kind of a play at the end of the game.
Absolutely. I've only watched a little bit of the Indiana State game, and it looked like Indiana State, obviously, I don't think they scored. I've only watched part of the game, but they threw around a little bit, so it looks like we can they run several different coverages, and so it looks like we're going to figure out ways to attack that. So.
You miss running the ball?
Honestly, as long as we get wins, I don't care how we move the ball.
I mean, how important is it to stay balanced, though? I mean, to get Donovan to be able to get some stuff and maybe have you tuck it under a little?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they go hand in hand. If you can get the running game going, that opens up passing opens up the running. So you got to figure out ways to kind of marry them together. So. What
about Lorenzo? What's he like to throw to?
Incredible. I mean, you guys have seen him. He's ridiculously tall, has great hands, just an absolute animal out there. So it's amazing to have him out there.
How do you see yourself improving this year? Just over the year compared to last year too? I know you want to put a lot of stress into not turning the ball over, but just kind of, do you feel something different going on in your head?
I feel like I'm just trying not to do too much. I feel like last year at times I was trying to do too much and trying to put things in my hands, and right now I'm really trusting the other guys, just putting the balls in their hands, letting them make plays. So.
Did you feel that early on in the season at all, and it's kind of transitioning, or has that been like that the whole season?
I think in the Tulane game I kind of reverted back to last year, and I think that showed with my performance. But other than that, I feel like I've done a fairly good job of limiting the turnovers and protecting the ball this year. Talk
a little bit about the win and to be able to come back and do what you needed to do to get that triple overtime.
Yeah, of course, man. We just went out there on defense. At least we just try to execute our game plan. And I know we took a lot of time watching extra film this week as a group to really understand what they were doing and what they were going to show us. So I think we were just really prepared for what they were showing.
How tough was it defensively when they marched down at the end of regulation and get that touchdown to tie it up, to not lose, your confidence?
Well, we know one touchdown isn't going to define our defense. We give up one touchdown, everybody gives up a touchdown. We just go out there and play the next play. Park it just like Coach Stec says, and we play the next one.
And then you come back in the third overtime when you need to get the sack. Talk about that.
Oh yeah, well, my D-line, they do a lot of work up front. Between Matt, Kevin, Eric, Claudio, and the guys up front, they're getting to the quarterback fast. So it makes our job easy at linebacker, and in the secondary, covering the guys, it makes it easy for us.
Kind of similar to Dan's question, you fall behind 14-0. How difficult is it as a defense to kind of say, forget that, we got to focus on what we're doing right now?
Well, like I said, man, we just go play the next play. We get down like that, well, we just try to get the ball and go score. That's our motto. So we just go out there and play as hard as we can on defense, and everything takes care of itself.
What do you know about South Dakota? You got this Simmons guy coming in here, like he throw, but he was running a lot against Indiana State.
Yeah, he can throw and he can run a lot too. We're gonna have to take care of him, keeping an eye on him, out of the pocket and throwing the ball because he can still get the ball downfield. We just still got to get on film, and we'll have a game plan for him.
Is it one of them deals where he did it against the team before you, so they're not going to surprise you on Saturday? You know what I mean? Because he comes in as like, he's one of the best throwing quarterbacks in the league.
I think our coaches do a good job at watching the film and seeing what the other team wants to do and putting us in the right place for the right play.
How difficult can it be facing a guy like that, knowing that he can take off at any moment in addition to being able to put the ball down the field?
Well, when you're out there, you just have to be aware of the quarterback's capabilities and his skills and what he can do. So we'll just have it in our mind while we're out there in our play calls, and we'll make it happen.
At a certain point while you're out there, do you kind of get to feel like you have the potential to have a big game, kind of like you had this past week?
Well, yeah, man, I'm going into my 4th year, and things are starting to slow down for me a lot, I've just been on more film and just understanding more about football, and everything's just slowing down. Yeah.
How nice is that?
It's very nice, especially being able to help out the young guys and helping them see different things throughout the game. And, we all just play as one, and we all get it done.
What was going through your mind that first overtime whenever you see the ball coming your way and you're in the end zone trying to catch a touchdown? During the overtime, you just got to find a place to stand and try to make a play, That's just what you got to do these days.